Every lake commando finds peace and refuge on the water. But for some, like our great military veterans returning from long tours overseas, that peace and refuge helps ease the transition back to life at home. Today, Steve Panaz gets in the boat with a real commando, Army National Guard Major Michael Thompson, a veteran of 2 tours of duty in the Middle East and a lifetime of Lake Commando missions.
I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes. Ooh, that's a big fish. But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos. Lake Commandos is powered by Nissan Titan, backed by America's best truck warranty.
Our nation's military men and women face challenges that most of us will never understand. One of the biggest is returning to a sense of normalcy after a grueling tour of duty overseas. Army National Guard Major Michael Thompson has had to make that transition twice, and like many others, he finds his path back to home life runs through the outdoors, specifically on the water catching fish. So today, this commando is on a mission that is his passion, a head-to-head bass fishing matchup with Steve Panaz on a small lake near his home base, Minnesota's Camp Ripley National Guard Training Facility.
It is a small 121-acre lake. It's part in Camp Ripley, part outside of Camp Ripley.
Okay.
Looks like max depth on this lake is going to be 20 feet with water clarity past 15 feet. So very clear water.
Wow, very clear, but very shallow.
Correct.
The commandos set up the Camp 365 fold-out cabin on the shores of the next day's battlefield and spend the evening rigging up for the upcoming largemouth bass battle.
I'm gonna put some line on this other rod.
Here's the mission they're preparing for. Break down a small, very clear, very weedy lake to find and catch fall largemouth bass. The lake offers good offshore structure and nearshore cover, including wood. Both should hold bass.
Hey, it's fall, it's a chilly morning, but it's supposed to warm up, and we've got a beautiful small lake here, and I want a presentation that could go shallow and deep, and a jig does that extremely well. I've got a couple different rigged up. I've got a black blue on one rod. I've got the green pumpkin on this one, but what I'm tipping it with is a brand new power bait max scent. This is the max scent meaty chunk. You can see all the ridges. Think of gulp and power bait in one bait. It's got great scent dispersion, but it's got the flavor of power bait. So when fish bite, they're gonna hold on and we're gonna get good hook sets. I'm gonna throw it on the new Veritas. And this one's a 7-foot, 1-inch medium heavy action. It's got a good backbone for setting the hook on jigs. And I really like this blank. I've been fishing them for a number of years. I'm fishing it on a Revo Rocket. It's the fastest reel on the market. Doesn't mean you have to use that speed, but if you get a bite in deep water, you can get that hook set and get that fish turning up. And this is the trilene braid in 30-pound test, but I'm not tying it direct. I've got 20-pound fluorocarbon as a leader material on it. Hey, jigs are a great presentation in the fall, and I'm certain this is gonna take the major down today.
The bass here, late fall, we got a little bit of wind, some sun out today. We're gonna like to fish a fast presentation. We're gonna go with the Berkeley Digger 8.5. This thing's got a lot of wobble, a lot of action. The bass are gonna love this thing. I'm gonna fish it on the Abu Garcia Fantasista spinning rod. I know it's a little different. I like to fish it on a spinning combo here. Great sensitivity. I just like the fight, like the action. The reel I'm using is the Abu Garcia Revo SX20. It's a very smooth casting spinning combo. I love it. You get great distance out of this thing. The line I'm going to be using today is Fireline Ultra 8. It's great for spinning reels. You get lots of casting distance out of here. So altogether, this combo today, this is going to be a great combo to take down Steve. You know, he thinks he's going to come in here on a military post and take down a soldier. Well, he's asking for war. It's going to be on today.
After a night in the Camp 365 fold-out cabin, The commandos are ready to launch the Ranger 620 and get to work.
This is a lot clearer than I expected.
Very clear lake.
I'm glad I didn't pick crank.
The weather is nearly perfect. A warm, sunny fall day with light wind will make for ideal conditions for this bass fishing mission.
You got the choice of going first or second with the patterns today. You got an idea?
Yeah, if you're gonna let me take the lead first, I'll take it on you, so.
You got the boat, baby.
All right.
Major Thompson will take control first and put his digger crankbait to work on an underwater weed point.
See that coontail down there?
There
Oh,
we go.
Man, look at you.
There we
Nice
are.
bass. Look at you.
Well, that didn't take long, did it, Steve?
No, not at all.
So,
Nice fish.
Nice,
too.
healthy fish.
A quick start and a quick lead for Michael Thompson. But Steve Panaz is ready to get in the game.
It's bass.
Bass. Nice one, too.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Abu Garcia for life. Berkeley Power Bait. Fish bite and won't let go. Garmin Panoptics, all-seeing sonar. Join the pros who switch to Garmin. Fraybill's Aqualife Bait Station, trusted gear since 1938. Swagger Tackle, premium tungsten sinkers. And by Camp 365, the cabin that goes everywhere. Lake Commandos Steve Panaz and Major Michael Thompson are chasing fall largemouth bass on a small lake on the border of Minnesota's Camp Ripley training facility. Major Thompson is an 18-year veteran of the Army National Guard and has served 2 tours of duty in the Middle East, one in Iraq and one in Afghanistan. He's also an avid tournament bass angler, competing in a number of local and regional events annually.
I know there's a lot of training going on at camp today. I figured that we would start hearing machine guns and stuff going off.
There'll be a little bit here this afternoon, I think. Just take them a little bit to get going here. Give it here.
Oh, jeez.
Ask and you shall receive, Steve.
What was that?
That was a 155. That was a howitzer. Basically, I chose crankbaits today. It's fall. The weather was cooling off. It was down to 40 last night, and I've had a lot of success on crankbaits in the past. I really like to use them in the fall. They imitate a minnow. I think that bass like to go after that and feed on that this time of the year, and I've had a lot of success triggering bites.
And the Major adds another twist to his crankbait attack. While most anglers fish cranks exclusively on bait casting gear, Major Thompson prefers a spinning combo, which allows for much greater casting distance, a factor that is paying dividends today.
Another one. That's a pike. No, it's a nice bass. All right, I've already made my decision. I'm switching to a blue-green.
Look at that.
Look at it.
Double hooks again. Another.
Yeah.
Another
So they're
nice
liking
fish.
that. They're liking that bright color. I gotta switch up.
Steve, 3-1. 3-1. I like it.
I don't.
I like it.
I have to admit, I was a little worried early when the Major went up on me. I think it was 3-1 on the crankbait. I had to make a switch. He went to a bait that was more aggressive in action than the digger's a little more aggressive than the dredger. The Major, we've been running into some clumps of isolated grass out deep, and I'm almost certain that that's coontail. I'll just drop the aqua view down and we'll take a look. So there's that coontail right there.
Yep, right there. A little brown, little green though. And what
Yeah.
do we have here? We got some bass.
Did you see a fish?
Yeah, there were a couple fish there.
There's a
There you go.
fish. That's a
a
bass. Off deep. There he is. Oh, there he is.
Yep, there you go.
See him? Here, hit the waypoint. It's a bass.
It's a bass. Nice one too.
Yes! Boom! just tied it up. But what the thing is, I want to show you, I'm throwing a natural pattern to perch, which I really like in these waters, but the bites that I was getting on the brighter color, I was getting in the front hook. So I got this fish in. We're tied up. I'm going to stick with the perch for a little bit, but if I get another bite or he starts out fishing me, I'm going to make the switch back to that blue chartreuse. Fishing deep today really was educational for a couple reasons. One, as we were going over this deep coontail, I wasn't seeing schools of fish on the sonar. The Garmin was basically barren. And the fact that we're catching smaller fish, 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2 maybe, and none of the bigger fish that we know are in the lake. And a lot of times when you look on shore and you see wood and docks, and it just screams to fish those, especially this time of year. It's 11 o'clock, dude. Time to give it up. Break out the jiggies. Tied up.
This segment of Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yeti. Yeti, built for the wild. The commando battle between Steve Panaz and Major Michael Thompson is all square as they move from the Major's crankbait pattern to Steve's shallow jig and powerbait max scent meaty chunk.
There's another. Maybe that's a bass. Good one too.
And right out of the gates, Panaz gets on a roll, flipping his 3/8 ounce jig to visual cover, like down timber.
Where you got natural cover, a pike and a bass came off of that. One tree.
Docks.
Yes.
And boats on lifts.
Got him. That's a big one. Woo! He hit twice. He came in once and missed it. And this is what I like to see right here. This is what I like to see. That fish ate that powerbait max scent. Look at that. Hey, the more I fish powerbait max scent, the more impressed I am. Not only do these baits have a lot of great action and great colors, but it's that scent and flavor. It really, I believe it's allowing us to catch more fish. We had several fish where we'd make a cast to a dock and that fish would grab that jig and bolt, and it would give us enough time to get the line tight and get a good hook set. And that's not typical for a soft plastic.
Nice bananas.
Go! You know what? I'm not even trying to cast to the dock because I think you spook them. There's a time when speed kills. That fish hit on a slack line, and with this Revo rocket, I was able to get on the fish fast enough to get a hook set. And you can see where it's buried. And that's a good fish for waters like this. That's a good bass. I love flipping. Seriously, did you see the line? I mean, I didn't feel the bite.
Take off.
He just took off with it. Normally when you take off like that, there's more than one under there. Got him, big one, big fish.
Net.
Is it a pike? No, it's a bass. Yes. That's the best one of the day, man. That's 3.5. Look at this. Musky bite.
Oh yeah.
Look at that, he's been chewed on right there.
I started out with a spinning rod. I felt like I had been using one all day. I was comfortable with it. And I soon realized that the rod was just way too light.
Big fish, nice. You got to get a different rod.
Okay. Switching over to a bait caster with a stiffer rod, something where I could get better hook sets on it, it made a big difference.
There's one. Big one too, isn't it?
That's decent.
Hey, you switch the rods, boom, fish. Now you're in trouble.
Yep.
Now I'm in trouble. Get that line gets caught inside there.
I think that's the smallest one of the day.
But you love it, don't you?
I do.
I always thought fall fish move deep, and they're not. I mean, the water temps are dropping. It gets cold at night. You know, we're gonna have to start having frost warnings here any day now. And we're catching these fish in 2 and 3 feet of water.
Yeah, you're damn near
Oh, that was a big fish.
catching one off of every dock.
How do you miss that? Got him. It's a big one. That's a big one. All right, can you get the net?
Yep.
That's a giant. That's a giant. Yes!
Oh, nice fish, Steve.
Oh, look at that one. Look at this, he's got look at that knob he's got on his head right there. Isn't that weird? There's a 5, baby. Look at that. And look at this. Max scent, gone.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha, reliability starts here. Berkeley, catch more fish. Plano, protect your passion. Aquaview, the original underwater camera. Yeti, built for the wild. Fish Monkey, performance fishing gloves. ARE, outfit for life. And by Berkeley Trilene, anglers trust Berkeley Trilene. This segment of Lake Commandos is brought to you by Camp 365, the cabin that goes everywhere. A fall largemouth bass commando battle between Steve Panaz and National Guard Major Michael Thompson is winding down. After finding a handful of smaller fish in deep water on Major Thompson's digger crankbait pattern, the commandos moved shallow and put Steve's jig and max scent pattern to work with big success. Panaz has a substantial lead, but a career serviceman like Major Thompson will never give up the fight.
There's one.
Right there.
There's one.
Big fish?
Average.
Average? There you go. Putting them in a boat though, man. I think we should go back to both these docks because I caught that one way off the end of it. Out in deep water, they're sliding out.
This one came off the corner of that pontoon.
Man, it's exciting when you flip in there and you feel that bite, that just aggressive bite. And this meaty chunk, it looks like an old pork chunk, but it's got those big ribs on there. It gives it a little more action, gives it a little more scent dispersion in the water. You know, it's funny, everybody forgets about this inside weed line, but it can be good. And got one right on it. Look at that, oh, that's a big one.
Ooh, need the net?
Yeah. Whoa, this is another 5 or close. Idiot.
Oh, what a beast.
Nice.
What a beast.
That's even bigger than the last one.
It is.
Right off this inside weed line. We've been fishing cover along here, but you'll notice there's a dark line where the weeds end on the inside. That's a toad.
Wow.
I thought that the shallow covered was the key, and we've been passing up this inside weed line for hundreds of yards, and he's actually the one that figured it out. He made a cast in there just 100 yards over there and got bit, and I look and there's a good inside weed line along this whole shoreline. We're in about 4 feet of water and made second flip, and that 5-pounder just crushed it. Boy, we've had a heck of a day. Hey, I got a question for you. I know you've been deployed 2 years now, and it seems like you've really come back and you've adjusted well back to civilian life, but I know a lot of soldiers aren't. Do you have any tips or any recommendations?
You don't realize how much you give up when you go away and you don't get to sit in the deer stand and do all that stuff. So But we've got a trolling for the troops program out here at camp. Spend a day out on the water. So I can tell you, personal experience, I've done the trolling for the troops program three times.
Yeah.
So I've got together, and I'm still in touch with all the guides I fished with, and we've fished outside of trolling for the troops. So
Really?
get together with them, and yeah, anytime I give them a phone call, they're you know, any excuse to go fishing's you know.
Well, I know there's a
great
lot of people out there that
opportunity,
what
but-
they say, what can I do to help? And bottom line
Right.
is, it's as simple as maybe just go fishing.
It is.
Or maybe
It
just
is.
go hunting.
Yep.
Yeah. Got him off that weed line.
Oh, nice fish.
Yeah. Well, dude, this is the last fish of the day. We got a boogie.
All right.
Docks, inside weed lines. The cranks produced some fish today. We caught 5, but the jigs just crushed them. And that new power bait Max sent. What do you think of that?
You can tell it works. It
What-
works.
what do you think?
Wow, I'm impressed.
So how do you like going commando? You pull into a new body water and just fish.
I love it. Love
Yeah.
it. You know, learning a new lake, getting out there, experiencing something new, figuring out a new pattern.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Hey, if you want to win what works for us, visit lakecommandos.com or check out our Facebook page.
I'm Captain George Mitchell. This is Coastal Chaos. It's all about points. Yep, points. Hey folks, I'm Captain George Mitchell. See all these points? These are all my top secret points. Today I'm going to show you a revolutionary new way to keep the boat positioned right on top of the red zone while keeping the engines and the stern of the boat into the conditions. See this icon on my plotter right here? This is Chip's wreckage. My buddy Chip gave me this. It's a top secret waypoint. You know, I'm not sure what that structure is, but it really holds fish, only if you're in the right spot. The latest addition to the Yamaha Helmmaster system, Set Point, allows you to easily keep your boat where you want it based on your knowledge of the fish and your boat's capabilities. With Set Point set in the Fish Point Stern mode, I can easily stay on top of my waypoint, and this setting uses low RPM adjustments to keep the stern into the wind or current and us over the fish. One of the greatest things about being stern to the elements is all of my fishing lines are being pulled away from the engines. The wind and current are sending my drift baits off the bow. Heck, I can even add a kite to the equation. Remember, more baits mean more bites. With max lines in the red zone and the anchor safely stowed, we're gonna box some fish today. Fish Point, baby! Coastal Chaos, tips for serious saltwater anglers.